guys, the reason why I'm creating this video is because a couple days ago Sensei gave us a kuden which I thought was really good. And I know that those kind of kudens is something that we don't exactly release that much towards the digital world. So I wanted to take some footage and actually put it out for everyone to see. What she discussed with us was our stand on how important lineage comes to play in any kind of martial art. Some of the information that you're going to see in this video was omitted because I felt that the information was should have been kept for students only. And after this video, I'm going to follow up with a couple of key points that I think that are important, that I feel like I need to emphasize. So enjoy the video and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you.
This is this lineage, this is that lineage, we're from that lineage. I think all of it is complete bullshit. I don't think anybody's lineage is absolute. No one's lineage is absolute. Even if there's a lineage from a school that says that we're, 30 generations old, right? All you have is a piece of paper. And that piece of paper probably doesn't date back all the way to the first generation. So the age of the piece of paper that they're looking at is not the first Soke. It's just not. That's not the majority of it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure there are a handful of organizations or a handful of schools that they can prove 100% first Soke, second, and the scroll that they look at has the name of the first Soke, and it was written by the first Soke, and then there's a signature saying, I bestow this scroll to this guy, and then a signature, and then there's another signature of the second Soke saying, I bestow this scroll to the third Soke, and there's a signature and a stamp. And then there's another signature from the third Soke saying, I bestow this scroll to the fourth Soke. I'm sure there is a scroll like that. I've never seen it. So no matter what, in every martial art, all lineages are suspect. Even Hatsumi Sensei, who is, most people would say he's probably the leading authority in ninjutsu in the world, because he does own the largest ninjutsu organization with the Bujinkan. And I'm not discrediting Hatsumi by no means. I'm not discrediting the Togaku Ryu. I love the Togaku Ryu. I'm not talking any shit whatsoever. I'm just saying that even someone of that status cannot prove his lineage. More than likely, people say that his scrolls were written by Takamatsu, which if Hatsumi is the 34th Soke of the Togaku Ryu, Takamatsu would be the 33rd Soke of the Togaku Ryu. So why isn't the Togaku Ryu, what happened to the first 32 Sokes? There was no scrolls written for 32 generations of that art, and then the 33rd generation Soke wrote a scroll. My point is, when people get wrapped up in the lineage, I personally feel it's crap. There are two things that I've never preached to you guys, and I never will, because I think it's crap. I think sitting down and trying to give historical lineages and historical lessons off of that lineage, I think is waste time. I don't think it benefits you guys physically. I don't think it benefits you guys mentally as far as your understanding of the art, nor do I think it benefits you guys emotionally or spiritually. So for me to sit down and roll out the scroll and be, okay, the 5th Soke was this guy, I needed this, and the 12th Soke was this guy, I needed this. I just don't see the benefit of that. I think lineages meant something back then. Back then they would hang their hat that I fight for the Momochi clan or I fight for the Takeda clan, and it meant something. In the modern day it doesn't mean anything, because anybody out there looking to train in ninjutsu or train in samurai bujutsu, anybody could just buy a membership and now they can say that they're part of that lineage. I have a membership to the Bujinkan, therefore that's my school. They have nothing. They might not even have a rank. Or maybe they're just a 10th Q or 9th Q belt. But because they have a membership, they're part of that school. Well, that's not the way it was back then. You know what I mean? So, to me, lineages are absolute crap. I think all lineages are absolute crap. All of them. You've never seen me make a video talking about the Tomoru lineage, or the Togaku Ryu lineage, or unless it was some sort of a question that came up. Because I don't think it matters. I don't think lineages should matter to that degree. And the people who think lineages matter, I will say this, the people that think lineages matter do not have any skill, physical skill in the martial arts. Most of them brag about their book collection. Because most people who study the arts, they want a high amount of physical skill, they want a high amount of ability, they want to be able to protect themselves, and they want to be able to protect the ones that they love. Those people who actually put sweat and blood and tears on the dojo mat, those people don't give a shit about what the name of the 13th Soke was. The people who care about those things and put hours into the book have not put hours into training. The people who can recite a lineage list probably haven't taken the same hours and put it into the weight room. There's a fact that we cannot overlook. That's why I don't get wrapped up in lineage. You're never going to see me get in that argument, because I think it's just a stupid-ass argument. Because it's a he said, she said, oh, well, how old is your scroll, and blah, blah, blah. You get into kuden. That's what my teacher told me, so there it is. And that's why I tell you guys, this is kuden. And when I tell you guys it's kuden, what does that mean? That means it was told to me. This is what it was told to me. Believe it if you want. But now let's train in the art. That part is more important to me, the training, because if you look at what we do with Tomoru, whether it's Ongyo Jutsu, Inen Jutsu, Yonin Jutsu, all these things that we do, all the techniques that we do in Tomoru, or any of the other arts that we have, match up historically. They match with other records. We can look at the Nippiden and see similar techniques in Tomoru. Same thing with the Bansenshukai. Lots of Bansenshukai material is damn near identical to what's in the Tomoru, which makes a lot of sense because even Sensei told me you have to study the Bansenshukai as part of Tomoru training. It's always been part of it. That's why I started the Toma Budoru in 2004 to begin with, to teach part of the Bansenshukai. So like the first thing that I never get involved with is lineage. The second thing is spirituality. People want to say you have to be a certain religion to study ninjutsu. And that's why I made that video. That's so stupid. I understand that people back in Japan, I understand that the historical ninja, the one in the 15th, 16th century, right? Those guys, those men and women, they followed a spiritual path. I do not believe that spiritual path makes you a better practitioner of the ninja and samurai arts. Are you following me? I agree that historically, the ninja of Iga or the ninja of Koga, they followed a specific religion because that was the religion of the time and the religion of their place. They followed a specific religion, whether it was Buddhism or Mikyo or whatever. Okay, there was something they followed, I agree. And they practiced ninjutsu. However, I do not think that them believing in Mikyo traditions or Buddhism or Shinto or whatever it is they practiced, okay? I don't believe that their religious belief and their religious practice made their military skills better. I don't believe that. And if you guys want to have a school that teaches Mikyo, you know, Shinto belief and all that, then you have to find a different one, because I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that matters. I think you guys can practice any religion, any faith, anything that you want to believe. You have a spiritual connection. I think that's most important. The fact that the ninja had a spiritual connection to something, they believed in something, and because of that, they felt like they were more empowered to become a better soldier. I think that is more important. Do you follow me with that? To me, that makes more sense than, oh, well, I study authentic ninjutsu, so now I've got to become a Buddhist. I've got to practice Zen, or I've got to practice Mikyo traditions, you know? No. No, you practice Mikyo because you want to, because you feel it's best for you. But you can practice ninjutsu and samurai bujutsu and samurai warfare and all this stuff, hey-ho, and not practice Buddhism. You know what I mean? I don't think praying to Buddha is going to make me a better swordsman. I don't think practicing the Mikyo and all that kind of stuff is going to make me better at understanding the ninja arts. Now, some people want to disagree with me and say that, no, that's not true. You need to, if you're going to teach Koru Japanese martial arts, then you need to teach it the way it was. See, that's where we separate again, because I don't think that's correct. I think that we should teach the traditional kata, because the kata is the seed. But this is 2014. And for me to take years and years of your guys' life to teach you how to fight against a spear and a sword and a bow and arrow, and then you guys walk up to the local gas station and get your asses whooped, I think that makes me a bad teacher. So the way, do you understand what I'm saying? So for me personally, I look at it like, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take these old arts, I'm going to teach you guys the old traditions. Now how can we make that work today? How does that work today? Even in the Bansenshukai, it clearly states ninjutsu is it's always changing. It's always in flux. Only ignorant ninja look at it like they have to do what's written in the historical records. The Bansenshukai written by Fujibayashi said that. I quoted that on my damn Facebook page. Look under historical ninjutsu, go to the photo album, see the quote. I made a little picture out of it. And that's true. Ignorant ninja, people who don't know the physical training, they don't understand fact, they don't understand reality. They do what's in a book. People who understand fighting, understand everything is constantly changing. Nothing stays the same. Ninjutsu today is not the same as it was back then. Ninjutsu today is taught, whether people want to admit it or not, whether people want to like it or not, whether people want to agree with it or not. It doesn't matter. Ninjutsu in the modern day is taught in martial arts schools. Ninjutsu 500 years ago was taught on the battlefield. That is a fact. It has changed. You know? It has changed. The people who study ninjutsu probably have a job to drive their car to work, to make money, to pay for a light bill, to get online and check their email, you know? And they go home, they flip on their lights, they take a shower with running water, clean themselves with soap, put on some deodorant, brush their teeth, and then go downstairs in their basement and throw on a 15th century, you know, little garb, hakama, kimono, and then jump in the backyard and play around for a while like they're a ninja. And then when they're done, they put on their breeches and regular pair of tennis shoes with rubber soles and, you know, go back to work. I mean, do you know what I mean? Ninjutsu today is not like it was 500 years ago. It has changed. And for people to not realize that change, then they're being blind. That's a fact.
The first point that I like to make is that when it comes to the 7 traditions, it's not something that we ever brag about. It is discussed here. We study it. We talk about it. We learn about where we come from and how it connects to today. It's required in order for us to be able to apply age-old tactics and concepts and ideas and be able to make them work now. I mean, it's required and it's necessary. But it's not something that we ever go forward into the internet or to the public and we try to brag about it or stuff it in someone's face. It's just what we don't think is important. We focus on ability. It's what we do. At least to my second point, it is necessary and it is required to be able to actually pull off what it is that you're learning. If you are learning a martial art and you're learning all these kamae, you're learning all these fighting concepts, all these ways to be able to disarm an opponent, and it's very technical, very skilled, very correct posture, very correct motion, and you get into a real fight, or at least a sparring situation, and you start flailing. You start flailing around, and all the technique and everything that you learned, everything that you trained so hard for, all of a sudden just disappears in a moment of stress. Then what's the point? What is the point? If you're going to pass down what it is that you've learned to the next generation, to your children, then I would think that it'd be in your best interest to make sure that you have it down so that it works. I don't care what it is that you do, Taekwondo, karate, train here at the Budoru, Bujinkan, I don't care. If you train a martial art and in a tense situation, everything that you've learned, everything that you train hard for just disappears, then that is not something that I would expect you'd be okay with handing it down to the next generation. And that's going to lead me to my next point, and I just want to say that humans haven't changed. We're the same now as we were hundreds of years ago. The entire point of going to war is to be able to one-up your opponent, to be able to beat them. And in order to be able to beat them, you have to be better than them in either, you know, physical ability, technique, fighting ability, be smarter than them, untold amount of ways. But whatever it is, you have to be good at it. You have to be better than them. So it's common sense to understand that hundreds of years ago, they focused just as much on ability as we do and should now. When it comes to the politics that Budoru is involved in, the only issue that we ever hit is in the ninjutsu community. I mean, we have Kempo, we have Jiu-Jitsu, we have Iaijitsu in our curriculum. They're part of the seven traditions that we do, and we never get flack from any of those guys. I've met a lot of people in all 3 of those types of arts, and like I've never received criticism. I've never heard criticism from any of them. They recognize what it is that we do. But when it comes to Tomodaru and Crocodile, we get caught up in the legitimacy of the lineages, even as loosely connected to the Bujinkan that we are. And it's so insignificant and not important. My last point is number 4, and it's actually just clearing up the point that Sensei made earlier. She had discussed that ninjutsu is taught and learned on the battlefield, and I'm sure someone out there is going to take it out of context and be like, ninjutsu wasn't taught entirely on the battlefield. That's not what she meant. The entire point was that ninjutsu back then was taught for war. It was taught in the time of war. It was taught to warriors. And now, today, we learn all of this in a dojo. And that right there speaks volumes on how things are different now than how they were hundreds of years ago. Anyway, that's my video. And I'm not trying to start any drama. I'm not trying to start any political BS. I just wanted to really emphasize where it is that we stand as a school. And I hope you enjoyed it. So if you have anything to say, please drop a comment underneath. And I'll see you guys next time.